Do you ever leisurely observe the night sky and wonder, is the sun really the center of the solar system? As the great astronomer Copernicus theorized, if you imagine that believing the sun was the center of the solar system was a sin, would you still believe it? I ask these questions. In my lifetime, I made many space discoveries because of my telescope. I unveiled many other useful inventions, which included a better clock. Unfortunately, little did I know that one of my discoveries would get me in a heap of trouble. Most of my brilliant space observations were due to my telescope. The telescope started as a spyglass toy, but I carefully improved it to be 20 to 30 times better than the human eye. After continuing to modify the telescope, I managed to view more stars than I ever could have imagined. It was breathtaking. Some of the things that I spotted include 80 new stars in the constellation Orion, sunspots, and lunar craters and mountains. Last and certainly not least, I detected evidence that the planet Venus was moving through phases, like our moon, which could only be explained by Venus revolving around the sun. This was remarkable because if Venus orbits the sun, so does Earth. Copernicus was correct. I published my findings, and the church became irate. Threateningly, they warned that I could not teach the sun is the center of the solar system as a fact, but only as a possibility. The church started quoting Bible verses such as, "Ye men of Galilee, why do you stand gazing up into heaven?" Acts 1:11. They took that verse out of context to make it seem like I was sinning just by studying the sky. My argument was that if people figure out that the sun is the center of the solar system and the church tells them that's wrong, then the people would not believe in the Bible and rebel against the church. As you can see, the telescope led to some of my greatest observations, but also it led to my most significant problems. In the midst of my many space discoveries, I made other observations as well. Once when I was in a cathedral, a workman had just slowly released a chandelier, which continued to sway. I noticed that it took the same amount of time to soar back and forth. Because of this realization, I constructed and recommended a simple and effective pendulum to time the pulse of medical patients. Another creation of mine was the geometric military compass that looks like two rulers in a triangle formation with a pendulum in between them. Next, I proposed the law of falling bodies. According to this law, a feather and a hammer would drop at the same time as long as there's no air resistance. I also hatched plans for a thermometer that worked by drawing water out of a tube and pump irrigation to water crops. Ultimately, I made these and many more inventions. I was 70 when my considerable problems began because I had claimed that the sun was the center of the solar system. The church leaders eventually put me on trial in Rome. The charge, heresy. The church mysteriously found some notes which claimed that I had promised I wouldn't hold, teach, or defend the Copernican system in any way whatsoever. Because of this, the Inquisition decided that I should be put under house arrest and escape the worst punishment if, and only if, I read a letter in public written by the church. I read the letter, my books were banned, and I was confined to house arrest. Although I could not share anything about the Copernican system, I could work on the pendulum. I also worked to improve the clock, as normal clocks were off by 30 minutes a day before my work. Fortunately, I was able to continue my work as a scientist despite my house arrest. During my life, I made many fascinating space observations. I also made many other inventions. Unfortunately, my space findings got me in trouble. I died January 1st, 1642, and was buried in the church of Santa Croce, which is in Florence. 50 years later, a statue was crafted in my honor. As time has passed, I have been proven right. For example, my theory of falling bodies was proved when NASA released a hammer and a feather on the moon. Because there was no air resistance, they landed at the exact same time. People were amazed. Later, in 1981, the judges even acknowledged the errors of the Catholic Church. I was probably one of the most famous astronomers of all by creating so much controversy in the church.